So before we jump into today's conversation about aging in place, I just want to take a moment to explain what the Senior Living Education Series is. If you have not been here before, I think there's a few new faces. And then I also just want to explain who I am. So if we have not met before, my name is Andy Allgreen. I'm the host and moderator of the Senior Living Education Series. We started these in January of 2025 at the Gathering Place in Monroe, and then we moved over to the DMAC campus in, I believe it was April of this year. So a little bit more about myself, I guess, is I have a wife and we have a son. I live in Monroe. I'm on City Council in Monroe, and I am the treasurer at the Gathering Place as well. So that's a few things about myself, who I am. A little bit more about the Senior Living Education Series. So at a high level, our overall mission statement for the series is that it's designed to help educate, equip, and empower older adults to help make more confident decisions in the future. So that's basically what we're trying to do behind the series. And that's really the overall purpose, and just trying to keep it as simple and purposeful as we can. Obviously, education is the core of the series, so it's just here to provide as much education as we can. And honestly, we do believe that this is the best resource for older adults in Jasper County. There's another one of these that happens in Polk County, and we kind of we're doing similar things, but there's nothing in Jasper County that's like this. So we do think it's the best resource for older adults. And yeah, so that's kind of what it is, who we are, and who I am. Another thing is we do have education partners, and the education partners are essentially here to help keep the series free for everybody to attend. And they're just here to be a resource for everyone. So they come prior to the seminars actually starting, and then they stick around afterwards. So if you have any questions for any of them, just about who they are, what they do, they're really just here to be a resource, build relationships with them, and just to have those connections if and when the time were to come for a life event. A couple other things as well. So I take feedback seriously. I say a saying that I've heard a while ago is feedback is fuel. So if you're not open to receiving feedback, then how are you going to grow? So that's why we have these feedback forms. So I highly recommend filling them out. I read every single one of them. If there's anything that you would want to see improved about the seminars, we can receive that feedback and kind of go from there. If you, as far as signing up for the seminars, if you, we have all the registration done online. So older adults sometimes don't want to use technology, which is perfectly fine. If you don't want to, you can sign up just by check marking the boxes that are on the feedback forms, and then we'll just sign you up automatically, and our team can do that. One thing we added on this feedback form specifically is our real estate team is hosting a free drive-in movie event Thursday, September 17th at 6 p.m. So if you have any interest in going to that, you can check that box. Just, I guess, a quick snippet about what that'll be. I don't know what the movie is yet. That's a question I always get. So I don't know what that is yet. It's not picked out. We'll have 2 bounce houses that kids can use. You can use them too if you want to. And then we'll have a semi there. We call it Touch a Truck. So grandkids can come and they can climb in the semi and just kind of climb around and see what a semi looks like. And then we also partnered with the Future Monroe Activities Center. So they're going to come and bring, they call it Tot Town. So they're going to bring basically an outdoor area for kids to just run around and play. And then basically it's free drive-in movie. So when you come, you'll have a ticket that gets you in. And then when you enter the gate, you'll get another basically ticket or a voucher, and that gets you a free popcorn and a free drink from the concession stand. So just way of giving back to the community and just having a fun, free event, and hopefully it's nice weather. So that's kind of what we have going there. But again, if you want to fill these out, we look at all of them, and then we can sign you up automatically there. So yeah, to dig into today's topic, we're going to be talking about aging in place, what to fix, update, and or watch for. So I guess with that, we'll just have our panelists come on up, and we'll kind of dig into the conversation. While they're coming up, this is kind of high level what we're going to be going over today. So we're going to be covering, is your home ready for the years ahead? What to fix, update, and what can wait? Planning before a crisis happens, balancing independence and safety, and then if we have time at the end, we'll cover creating a home that supports the future, and then we will open it up to a Q&A at the end if we have time as well. And I forgot to mention this, if you have not been to the DMAC campus before, the restrooms are just out this door. Turn left, and then you'll walk down the hallway. You'll see a restroom sign, and you'll turn left again. So that's where the restrooms are located. So with that, we will dig into who our panelists are. I'm going to have each of them introduce themselves, who they are, what they do, the company that they work with, and kind of why they're here talking about today's topic. And then we'll dig into the questions.
Thank you, Andy. Good morning. My name is Carla Deemer. I work for Home Instead. I am a business development advisor. What does that mean? I work in the 5 counties that we service. I work with hospitals, care facilities, senior centers, anywhere that I can promote what we do so that I can let people know that we are a resource for seniors and people that are wanting to stay in their home. So that is my role. I do a lot of the consults as well, working with families to find out what the needs are and what we need to do to deliver on those needs to help those families stay in their home, because that is our goal. So good morning, everybody.
Perfect.
Thank you, Andy, and welcome, or Carla. I'm Crystal Doig. I am the director for the Lifelong Links program with Aging Resources of Central Iowa. That's a really long name. But what I do is I oversee 5 core component programs for the Aging Resources. Aging Resources is an area agency on aging. We cover 8 counties in central Iowa, Jasper being one of them. We provide information and assistance, referrals on any question. We serve anybody over the age of 18 to 59 with a disability, anybody over the age of 60 with or without a disability, their caregivers, and also anybody experiencing elder abuse. So what are the 5 programs that I oversee? The first one is information and assistance. Again, any question, we get all types of questions. No question is off the table. Then we oversee the family caregiver program, which in that program, the client is actually the caregiver. I like to call it the twofer program because we're serving the caregiver and also their older loved one that they're providing care for. The next one is options counseling. If you're needing a little bit more assistance getting connected to resources and services, an options counselor will stay with you for 3 months to make sure that you get everything that you need and set up and you're stable. That if not able to succeed within that options program, we have case management, and that's for life or until you fire us. So they'll be with you, helping you navigate whatever systems you're needing at that time. And then also elder abuse, and that is exactly what it is. Somebody experiencing elder abuse, whether that be a scam, financial exploitation, self-neglect, caregiver neglect, anything like that. 2 elder rights specialists would meet with you, let you know what your options are to mitigate those issues and work with you to stop the abuse. We too, our mission is to keep people in their homes as long as possible and as safely as possible. So we provide a lot of resources and information around that goal for individuals, and we are person-centered, which that means you guys are leading the train. We are just there to provide you with options, information, and educate you on what's out there. You make the choice as to what you want to do. We just are there to support you in that decision. So with that, I'll pass it on.
Thank you. My name is Amanda McNeeley. I am the RN and Director of Park Center Assisted Living. along with the Willowbrook Adult Day Program at Park Center. I oversee both areas and finding new clients or people that are in need of our services. I've lived in Newton my whole life and really love the community, so just want to help out and answer any questions I can for you guys.
Perfect. One thing I did want to mention as well. So obviously with aging in place, there's a lot of conversations that I have with older adults, and the main, like I would say 90% of the time, the main conversation is I want to live in my home as long as possible. So like that's typically everyone's plan A. But then it's like, what actions are we taking to actually allow ourselves to live in our homes as long as possible, or is it basically just a thought? So that's kind of to take today's perspective. It's like, how can we have this conversation today and take one thing away and actually put it into practice? So with that, we're just going to start off with the topic of, is your home ready for the years ahead? And we'll start with Crystal. So when you're working with older adults who want to remain at home, what are the earliest signs that their home may no longer fully support their safety or independence?
The first thing we would ask, how are you doing in the home? What are tasks that you normally are able to do? Are they going undone? And I would like to say maybe laundry. Maybe laundry isn't getting done because your washing and dryer are in your basement and those stairs are steep and they may not have a railing. So we're asking, how are you getting those tasks done? Is it a hardship? Are you safe around those tasks? If not, then it might be time to think about doing some modifications or other choices, whatever they may be. If you have frequent falls in a certain area of the home, that would also be another trigger that we would be discussing with you to help you be more safe. If it is about personal safety, which is part of that as well for us, we would be talking about other things outside the home, also within your person, like an emergency response button. They are not only for help I've fallen, they are also for personal safety. You can push that and get the police. So we would be looking at that. And then the other thing that, are you feeling overwhelmed with just the upkeep of the home? Again, is it too much? Is it financially burdening you to do the upkeep of the home? As for an example, maybe you're not able to mow the lawn anymore, so it doesn't get done. Can't really afford somebody to mow it for you, so you're like, that's not important, right? In the grand scheme of things, it's not. It's for your safety. But then all of a sudden you get a fine from the city because you haven't mowed your lawn. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at all of those things. So when you call Aging Resources, they will answer your question and provide you information about whatever you're calling about, but they may provide you as a bonus other information that may support and help you down the road for preventative reasons.
Perfect. And then, yeah, we'll go to Amanda next and just kind of look at it from a nursing RN perspective and kind of a health perspective. So what health or mobility changes most often make everyday tasks around the home more difficult from that perspective?
There's multiple different things that can affect what you can do at home. Vision loss is a big one. Vision changes can make it hard for you to see or judge depth, which can also hurt your safety. If you can't judge how far something is away, you could reach for it and fall and injure yourself. Other types of things that could have health changes would be breathing difficulties. If you're having a harder time breathing, that would disrupt how long you could care for yourself, and you might need some additional help there. Some of the other ones I had were just mobility changes. So even just in your fine motor, being able to open things around the house. And then there's also the short-term ones, like if you're post-surgical, if you just had a surgery, you may need some help in the home short-term afterward just to recover from that properly so that you can stay at home.
Yep, perfect. And then Carla, so many people assume they can simply age in place, and some people might not necessarily have a plan like behind it and just have the thought. So like, what conversations do you specifically have with families to help them kind of evaluate their home to help them meet their needs?
Absolutely. So obviously, part of my role is to ask families the honest questions about, is your home really safe, and or is it ready for you now and in the future to be able to stay in your home? And a lot of the things that we talk about is the mobility challenges in the home, fall risks, stairs, bathroom accessibility, which is a big one. Medication management. Are you able to manage your meds in the home? Meal preparation, transportation, even social engagement. Are you still able to be socially engaged with your friends in the community and be able to get out of your home? And then we talk about overall health conditions, as that change, even though you might meet those needs now, can you meet those needs in the future? So we're asking those hard questions. Sometimes they're difficult conversations to have, but I encourage people to have those conversations earlier rather than later, because oftentimes we go into the home and those conversations have not been had. And so we're doing the digging, and we're doing that with the families and with the people that are in their homes, trying to figure this out for them. So sooner rather than later having these conversations. Questions that we'll ask is, is the home safe and accessible? Can daily activities be completed there? And then who would provide the assistance if that increases? Is it family members, or is it going to be us or someone else? Just making sure that those needs can be met, because we have to get past the emotional attachment to the home and get to the safety part of it to be able to age in place in that home and to live a good quality of life in that home as well.
Perfect. To touch on to what you said, and I've repeated it a decent amount, I feel like, here, but I like to always say that hard conversations are healthy conversations. So it's like having conversation with your spouse about, or loved ones, older adults, about even just aging in place, and saying, hey, we went to this seminar, what do you guys think about this? And just having that conversation, because I would probably say 80% of the time the conversation doesn't even happen and isn't even brought up. So it's good to just to just have the conversation. So that I would encourage that. So we kind of talked about a few different things there. So to get a little bit more, I guess, practical in talking about what to fix, update, or things that can wait, it will go to Amanda. So what areas of the home tend to create the greatest safety risks, and which modifications provide the biggest improvement for maintaining that independence inside of a home?
From my experience, one of the biggest is clutter. Having not solid walkways that are wide enough for you to get around in. You want to make sure you can get it, not have things on the floor. Sometimes area rugs can be hard. They are very much so a trip hazard if they are not the anti-slip. Or if they're too tall, sometimes you can just trip over them themselves. So making sure you clean up that clutter. Crystal also mentioned having things on one level. So if your laundry is in the lower level, starting to think about, okay, what happens if I can't get down the stairs? Maybe I should think about moving that laundry upstairs so that I can reach it before you actually need to have it upstairs. And then just simple things in the bathroom, like Carla suggested, like grab bars, just kind of thinking about those things you may need in the future before it actually comes to an actual need.
We can go to Crystal next. So many homeowners feel overwhelmed by just like a list of repairs and things that they have to do. And I don't, just having that long list can sometimes feel overwhelming. So like, how would you help people specifically prioritize what like actually needs attention today versus what can wait?
We would talk, the first thing would be a priority list. We would commend you for making a list, because that's awesome. A lot of times people aren't aware what they need. So creating that list, sitting down with somebody that you trust, going over that list, but looking at safety from the aspect of, am I safe to do this task? Is this something that will increase my safety, like the grab bars in the bathroom, removing of the rugs, lighting, to make sure I can see through the hallway and see what I'm doing. So the first thing we would look through is, am I safe in that area, and what needs to be approved? And then we move to the next level. Once I've achieved that goal, what do I want to work on for comfort? Then the last is, what do I really need it? Is this something that's really needed? Is this just a want, an aesthetic thing to keep up with the neighbors? And can I afford it? Those types of things. So we're really good about talking with folks about priority. What is your priority? So maybe your priority is, I really want to get a new tree, but you have 4 steps that lead out of your front home and you have mobility issues. So we might kindly talk to you and guide you, like, what about a railing or a ramp? Have you ever thought about that? You know, the tree would be great, but wouldn't it be better if you could look at it from outside and not from your window? So we would talk with you about those types of things, the priority being your safety and increasing your independence at home now, or like she said, in the future, for sure.
Yep. So prioritizing safety, and then basically everything else follows after that. Carla, when you're helping families prepare for aging at home, what are some, from your experiences, just like relatively simple and or affordable updates that make a significant difference?
Absolutely. So we always emphasize the small and affordable things first and foremost, and they're quite simple, really. But we just go over it with people and let them know there's some things that you can do for safety that are affordable. That it's just simple things to do that we think that would really move things forward. So remove loose rugs in your home. More times than none, we go in and there's these loose rugs, and they're a fall risk. They simply are for many people. So we recommend, removing loose rugs and clutter. Clutter is another thing. Improving lighting throughout the home. Lighting is, a big deal as we move forward, especially at nighttime. Make sure that light is adequate in all your rooms and all the rooms that you're maneuvering to and from. Installing grab bars in the bathroom, that is the big one. 80% of falls in people that stay in their home is in the bathroom. So that's really important, installing the grab bars in the bathroom. Non-slip mats in the bathroom is another small but affordable change that you could do. Store your items in places that are easy to reach. Don't make it difficult to go after those items. Make sure they're easy to grab and get to, so you're not falling trying to get to those things that you use frequently. Consider technology. People forget about the technology as the world moves forward. There's a lot of different things between medication reminders, medical alert systems. We have video doorbells now and even cameras in the home, so loved ones often can check on you, when they can't be there. We have one, particularly with our organization, that I'm certain that no other home care offers. It's called Sensi. It is an AI technology. It's basically in your home. We put monitors in the 3 most frequent rooms that you're in the most. And there's a router. And this technology, it doesn't spy on you. It is a technology that observes. It picks up certain verbiage like help or I've fallen or things like that. It also deals with when you move around, it'll track, like, say at night, one night you're going to the bathroom 1 or 2 times, where moving forward you're going 5, 6, 7 times a night. It can help us identify that maybe that you have a UTI. Some medical things that can come out of it. These are some other technologies that you can think about as you move forward, that aren't as simple, maybe not quite as affordable, but they're still there, and they're opportunities for you to age in your home with these devices to help you stay there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So really, from what I'm gathering too, is like a lot of the modifications seem to be fairly simple and affordable. Part of to touch on the clutter piece and just removing things, that isn't going to cost you anything except time. So that's something fairly simple that could be done, depending on like how much clutter you have. So that might be a factor there as well. And then other like little fixes would that might be a little bit more expensive, but that would be like your ramps, grab bars, and then if you had to like hire out any, I would say like exterior work, even cleaning, hiring out cleaning if you can and if it's affordable. So yeah, kind of touched on those things. Another, I guess, to go into kind of the third topic would be planning before a crisis happens. So we'll have Carla go here again. And from the in-home care perspective, how does having in-home care available allow seniors and older adults to remain safely in their homes longer than they otherwise could?
So with home care being there, we help to continue to educate you. We talked about, just the changes as you grow older, your health changes. It can change, your needs change, and we can help educate you on moving forward a path, like how we can move forward with that. We can evaluate as those things change, and again, offer those opportunities as to how we can keep you safe and move you forward in your home, living independently. Having us there, we can deliver on those services day in and day out, whatever that looks like. We have people that are in services with us sometimes an hour just to help them bathe or for grooming. We have some people that are, 8-10 hours a day. We have people that are 24/7. Everybody's need is different, but each need, we deliver on those services, whether that's cooking, cleaning, bathing, transportation. So with us in there, we can help you deliver on those things that you need so that you don't have to go somewhere else to find those needs. So having our services helps us evolve. We evolve with you and your changes medically and personally in that home. So I think it's, just a good resource. It's a good resource for you to evolve, to stay in your home. And oftentimes when we're there, we don't see those changes. When you have somebody in there and they're the eyes and ears on you, they can help you see those changes and those needs. So we can help move you forward.
Mm-hmm. And like she said, the services could be for 1 hour, for like one day over the course, like every week, or it can be 24/7 type care. So there's a wide range of services there. One thing I also wanted to touch on, I can't remember who brought it up earlier, but the social aspect of it. And like, if you are not getting out of your home super often, it would be a way to have at least try to like build a relationship with that person, because the social side of things, and being I guess socially engaged with your community and things like that, goes a long ways, and there's a lot of research that's done about that type of thing. So if you don't get out of your house, it would be an option to help with that as well. For Crystal, from like the aging resources side of things, what community programs or just other like local resources are available that families might not know about if they happen to run into some type of crisis?
Well, Home Instead for sure. We refer a lot of folks over to Home Instead for everything she just said that they can provide. Or if needed, over here to Amanda, we work with them as well. So at Aging Resources, our job is to know what resources are in the community to help support you and help you have an informed, educated decision about what you want to do. So we would provide you with home care options in your community that would best fit your need, schedule, and time and what you're looking for. If it's a caregiver situation and a safety issue with your loved one having possible cognitive issues going on, we're going to be reaching out to Amanda and exploring the Adult Day Center for Safety and for a break from you, a mental health and physical break for you as a caregiver. We also would refer you to talk to your primary care physician about maybe an OTPT referral to come into your home to to look over the home and also instruct you on ways to do things differently and safer. If that's not an option, there is a company called Happier at Home Consulting, and that's what they do. They are ran by PTOT. They will come to your home and do a free home assessment on your home and what potentially could happen, advise you. They will also help you find the resources, if you do not have them, to possibly pay for those modifications. Aging Resources being one of the payers that often comes out and steps in to help pay for a portion of something, all of something. Of course, we're not talking thousands of dollars here. We're talking what we can do, partner with you to get that achieved. We do pay for those life alerts for folks to have in their home for safety issues. We do pay for adult daycare sometimes for respite for the caregiver to give them a break. The other thing I wanted to mention is, in addition to Happier at Home, there's same-day grab bars. That is really true. Same-day grab bars. We refer to them as well. They will come out and do a free home assessment. And if we referred them, they will call us and say, hey, I'm at Gladys's house right now, and we're recommending this length, this bar. Is it okay if we put it in? Yeah, do it. Do it now. And then they invoice us and we pay for it. If you don't have the funds to do that and it's a safety issue, it can be a grab bar beside your bed. It could be bed railing. It could be a transfer pole. And the good thing about them, they are construction background individuals, so they can pretty much put a grab bar in anything or figure it out for you. So you're not required to purchase it at that time. They may just give you some information. Same with Happier at Home Consulting, and let you kind of think it over. Is this a safety issue? Should this be a priority? Or is this something I just really want for the future? So those are the things they're going to look at. Other things you don't think about is a zero entry and a no threshold. Those little tiny things for a threshold, getting into a different room, they can be a bugaboo and also help be a huge fall risk.
I guess a follow-up question on that. So, what does the conversation look like for someone who doesn't have the funds, or how do you find that out? When you're having the conversation, do they submit tax return type deal?
Oh, no. So, no. Oh, no. We're user-friendly, really. Too user-friendly, I like to say. So what we would do, if you did not have the resources and you needed those grab bars, you could just call Aging Resource and simply just state that, hey, I'm calling in. And you might not even know same-day grab bars exist, but you need these grab bars, okay? So you're calling in, hi, I need grab bars. I'm falling in my bathroom. I live on a fixed income. Right there, the person on the phone is going to ask what your monthly income is. We need to do it for data purposes. And then she will give you the information about who can install those grab bars. They will then say, which one do you choose? Because we can't give you our opinion. That's a big no-no, or what our preference would be. So let's say you chose same-day grab bars, and sometimes that's the only option in your area, so that makes it easy, right? So if it's same-day grab bars, we would contact same-day grab bars, have them get a hold of you, set up a time that they can come and look, and that's the process. We are just taking you at your word. What you get in an income or monthly income, we're taking you at your word. We don't require tax returns. Okay. I say that, but if you are needing rent help or something like that, we require some landlord letters and stuff like that. But gotcha. We also can only work with those agencies that are willing to bill us after the fact, or invoices. We can never prepay for anything because we are federally funded. So we have to prove to the government that you actually got what we paid for. So,
gotcha. Before I ask the next question for you, would you mind touching on the adult day and what that kind of is? Yeah, just a brief overview of it.
Yeah. So the Adult Day program at Park Center is a program from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. where we take anybody 45 years and older that needs socialization, enrichment, supervision, help with meals. So we always do a small breakfast in the morning. We do a morning activity, we do lunch, and then we do an afternoon activity and a snack before they go home. So if a caregiver needs a break so they can go run to Des Moines and run Christmas shopping errands, we could take the loved one in for that day to allow them to have that time to go do that without having to worry about where their loved one is and if they're safe at home, or having to take them out with them where they might walk off. We are a secured building, secured location where that can be held.
Perfect. I just wanted to touch on that real quick since we brought it up a couple times, and if anyone hasn't heard of what it was before. So, rabbit trail, going back, to kind of the topic. So we're talking about kind of what happens planning for a crisis type of deal there. So from the nursing perspective, again, what are the consequences that you see of waiting too long to make a home modification, or just like simply asking for additional support?
The biggest consequence, obviously, is deterioration of health. So if you aren't able to clean your home, if mold and dust is getting in there, it can vastly affect your respiratory status. If you have a wound and you're not able to clean or take care of the wound or your living area, that can cause major infections, which can lead to deterioration in overall health. Then the second one is a major injury period for falls. So if you do have your laundry in a different level, going down the stairs, and if you know you've been having trouble getting down the stairs and you knew it's been an issue, and then you have a fall and you could break a hip, and some of those things could actually lead you to not being able to go back into the home if they are bad enough. So overall, that's the worst part of it.
Yep. So now we'll kind of transition into like balancing independence and safety, and kind of, going from there. That's kind of our next topic, I guess. So sometimes people equate accepting help with losing independence, and just with my head and like where my mind is at, I always think of like from the business perspective, it's like sometimes accepting help is actually like leverage. So you're using the help to help you with these other tasks. So it's like I have Nancy helping me with check-in, registration, doing X, Y, and Z, and it allows me to free up my time to do other things for the senior living education series. So she's helping me with that. So I'm not losing independence from doing these things inside of the senior living education series. I don't know if that makes sense, but we'll kind of dig into the questions. So we'll go to Amanda first. And so many older adults worry that accepting help means giving up their independence. How do you help people see support as a way to remain independent longer?
Communication, just talking with them like they've talked about what their wants and needs are. It is not them or ask the help telling you what to do. You are making that decision on what you need the help with. It's allowing you to have that independence and keep that independence for as long as you can. It's not them telling you have to do all of these things. It's them saying, what can we help you with so that you can be more successful in your home?
Yep. It allows you to stay in control of your situation more, and just stay in the driver's seat of how things might go. So Crystal, like, how can families start conversations about future planning before safety concerns become urgent or just like emotionally difficult to have?
For sure. So one of the things about older adults that I've experienced is one of their fears is if I tell somebody or ask for help from my loved one, they're going to think I need to go into a nursing home. That's a valid and real fear. So like Andy said, we will talk about you be in control. Accept the help in your home where you can boss them around a little bit, but be in charge of your own care in your own environment. So the conversation, like Andy had said earlier, can come from this right here. Hey, I went to this seminar and it got me thinking that we need to have this conversation. It's kind of like the powers of attorney and a will. It's a conversation that is a difficult and hard conversation sometimes for folks. But like Andy said, it's a healthy conversation. So we would say, you could call us, and that's another call we get at our office. I need to talk to my daughter about home safety. I need to talk to my spouse about moving our bedroom to the main floor because he can no longer do stairs. So we will practice with you and give you ideas on how to have that conversation. If you are really reluctant to have it, one of us would come out and start the conversation with you, be present with you, and kind of guide you through that conversation. But I would also say starting with that home evaluation now and looking at what your healthcare needs are now and potentially in the future, like if you have stairs in your home, like my husband, we have stairs in our home. He's had both his knees replaced. I'm pretty sure stairs are going to not exist in my future with him. So, or a stair lift is needed. My mother-in-law is probably going to come live with us. So I will need to get a stair lift and a walk-in tub because to lift her legs up over the tub is too difficult. So evaluating what my needs are going to be in the future with some, with if you have home care aid now from like Home Instead, talking with the home care aide, what do you think would be beneficial for me moving forward? Or having Happy at Home Consulting come out and give you ideas moving forward. If you have to use a walker, maybe your door needs to be widened to your bathroom to get in and out of the bathroom. Stuff like that we don't even think about, but looking at that, what makes my quality of life easier in the future? So it may be in a step tiered thing where you do a little now, and have a plan. That's the thing. Have a plan in place for if and when. If and when. Hopefully not, but if and when. Okay?
Plan B and the Plan C part of it. I wanted to ask Carla the question of coming from the perspective of the spouse having the conversation with the other person, or adult children having the conversation with the older adult. Like how do what advice would you give the adult children or spouse who want to help without taking away their loved one's sense of control and like inside of the home?
Right. And again, I'm going to say the first and foremost, have those conversations early rather than later. When it becomes difficult, that the conversation's even more difficult. Have them now. We always say that we encourage families to involve their loved ones and not focus on what matters. We want them to focus on what matters the most to them instead of telling them what they can't do. Ask those questions. Well, what are your goals? What are your goals in staying home? What are those goals? And a lot of times they just say, well, Mom, you can't do this, or Dad, you can't do that. And you got to approach it in a way that that shows, them that they're being put forth first, show dignity, compassion, and all those things. You have to tread lightly as we tell our families and the loved ones that are having these conversations, because it is a difficult conversation to have. Accepting does not mean that accepting help does not mean that you're giving up control. And you have to remember that. And we tell people that every day, because oftentimes people think, well, if I'm going to get help from Home Instead, I've lost control of my home. And that's not true. That's not true at all. We're there to be a partner with you in that home, to give you that quality of life that you're looking for to age in your home. So, and ultimately the best outcomes that we find comes from those families that have had those conversations. They've talked about the needs, the wants, the goals, and that. So again, have those conversations early, before tragedy hits or before it becomes a necessity to have it, and talk about those goals and what needs to be done. And I think the outcomes will be much better when you do that, have those conversations.
Yep, perfect. So kind of just to transition into the last section there about just high level, we're going to probably touch on some things we've already talked about before, but just creating a home that supports the future. So Carla, if you would recommend if you were to recommend just one home improvement that most homeowners should consider making sooner rather than later, what would that be? Or if you have like a few other thoughts too.
Okay. My suggestion would be the bathroom. That is where 80% of the falls occur. Make sure that the bathroom is safe with those bars in there, and everybody's needs going to be different. But that is something that when we go in, when we take on a client, we do a home assessment. We go in right away and we take a look around the home with permission to see if there are things, that need to be changed. And one of the first things is usually always in the bathroom. There may not be bars in there. There may not be an adequate tub stool or a way of showering other than just standing there. So we do an assessment for that. So definitely the bars in the bathroom or the shower. I would also say adequate lighting. Lighting seems to be a big one as well, especially, in those rooms like the bathroom, the bedroom at nighttime. Make sure that lighting is adequate. I would also say, loose rugs. Again, loose rugs, it's always an obstacle. So That'd be a third one, and the non-slip surfaces, that's important as well. Just, try to look at those little small things that you can do right away, that's going to keep you from down the road having those issues arise in that. So definitely the bars. And again, I think I mentioned earlier, easy access to stuff. So many times people put stuff where they can't get to it, and they can't access it easily. And we see that's a big fall risk as well. So the bars first and foremost, and then a few of the other things I touched on as well would be good too.
Yep. And I think for me, I feel like repeating things is good because it's basically showing emphasis on things. So Crystal, like if someone's planning to live in their home for the next 5 to 10 years, what would you encourage them like for their first step to take in that process?
I would have them have home evaluation of where they are and what they're able to do now. And if things are difficult now, make those changes now. And also look at, if it's hard now, it's going to be harder in the future. So maybe I need to take a deeper dive into creating a safer space for me. Like they've all mentioned, both the ladies here have mentioned, making those small changes can make a huge impact and prevent something bigger happening, like falling and breaking your hip, and not having a choice. Or you go into the hospital and you don't get to come home, and that's a big deal. Or having your children make choices that maybe you don't align with because you were unsafe, or they use that as leverage. God bless them and love them, but maybe they use that as a point of leverage to kind of pressure you into a choice or a decision you may not want to make. So it is, I would say, first have that conversation of changes needed, evaluate where you are now, and if there's anything that's slightly difficult, why am I doing it? Change it, make it easier for myself, and accept what you can do and be proud of what you can do. And I know that one of the things that people say when we recommend home care, I don't want strangers in my home. First off, I say, I get it. I wouldn't want that either. But if having somebody come in and help me keeps me out of the nursing home, I'm for it all day and twice on Sunday, right? So that's kind of where we start, that have the evaluation, accept the help you can and are willing to do. And I will say this, and I'm sure you've heard this too, so-and-so doesn't clean like I do. They won't. So-and-so doesn't cook like that. They won't. Nobody's going to do it exactly like you because you are you. Having that acceptance and understanding and grace to allow them to help you.
Yep, perfect. Amanda, looking beyond physical safety changes inside of the house, what other changes could make a home more supportive of someone's overall health, comfort, and just quality of life?
So some of the changes that they've said, obviously, making sure things are cleaned up, but also lighting is a big thing. You don't want to have spotlights in the house, but you want to have it adequate, and you want to have it usually brighter at night when you don't have as much daylight coming in. So adjustable ones are good. Also, just having the technology, things that you don't necessarily have to learn, but the family members can help you with. So I liked learning about even I learn about things here. Yeah, the things that can sense where you are in the rooms and make sure you're moving in your normal pattern. I'd heard a little bit about them, but I enjoy learning more about those types of things. But also like things that help your mental well-being. So like photo frames that the family can upload the pictures for you. That brings a lot of joy to a lot of people, having that ability for them.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of those things to make it more comfortable, not only physically and so that people can get around, but also so that they can mentally have a good space in their home.
Yep. I think my grandma's here today as well. I think we have one of those in your house too. Yeah. So yeah, basically with those things, I guess just to touch on that again, is your family can essentially just upload any photos they want to, and then it just pops up automatically on the screen, and it's just new photos that you can see and check out, and what the family is doing basically. So I guess with that and everything that we've talked about, do you have any last final thoughts, Amanda? If not, that's okay. Of just high level, anything we've touched on.
Just talk to your loved ones, let them know, and actually think about it. Don't wait till the last minute, because that's going to cause you more issues. But think ahead and do the talking. It doesn't hurt, because that shows that you're actually wanting to take care of yourself.
Same question. Yep.
I'm going to say ditto. Have that conversation now. Be proactive instead of reactive. Sometimes when you're in a crisis and you need something now, it's not available, or they can't get to you for a couple weeks. So you're stuck in a home for 2 more weeks because they can't get in there and do what you need to be safe in your home. So communication and be proactive.
And again, have those conversations. I mean, it's so important. And also know that asking for help and sharing those goals doesn't mean you're giving up your independence. It does not. And don't let it make it feel that way. So have those conversations and move forward with those goals and utilize the resources that we're bringing to the table and be able to stay in your homes as long as possible, because that is our goal, all of us up here. So.
And I will end with, have those conversations.
What did we learn today? Have conversations.
So we have a few minutes left. We'll open it up to Q&A. So if you have a question, raise your hand. We'll start back there.
How many, if any, of all of these services you discussed today are covered by?
I will. So in order to pick it up on the microphone, can you repeat the question or similar to what she asked and then answer?
Okay, so she's asking of everything we're talking about up here today, what is covered by insurance? Well, home instead is, we are not covered by insurance. We are covered by long-term care insurance if you have a long-term care insurance policy, or VA benefits, but we are private pay. We are an hourly rate. And if anybody's interested in further discussing that, we set up what we call consultations. So we'll sit down with you to talk about what your needs are, how we can meet those needs. The cost of that is pretty competitive across the board with most home care companies, the hourly rate. So ours is only covered through long-term care insurance and VA. Otherwise, it is private pay. So that's for me anyway.
Aging resources services are free. Anything we provide to you is free. However, we're providing resources to you. So the resources or agencies may cost. So for insurance purposes, we would encourage you, especially if you have an Advantage plan, they are growing and becoming more competitive. They may offer something on your plan that you didn't, like transportation, that maybe you didn't even know you had, stuff like that. So we would encourage you to do that. Explore the VA, but also if you have long-term care insurance, like she mentioned. But the big one for us is if you are needing to apply for Medicaid to be able to be in your home and have services paid for. We would help with that Medicaid application, help follow it, and get you on Medicaid so you can get those services in your home paid for by Medicaid. If you're a married couple, it doesn't mean you have to impoverish your spouse or each other to be on Medicaid. Call and talk to us. One spouse can be on Medicaid, and some of your money, a lot of your money, can be protected for the other spouse. So we'd encourage you to call and talk with one of our specialists to walk you down that trail. But it's encouraging if that's what you need, and they do pay for home modification under Medicaid. But there are some other resources that aging resources may know in your local community that might help out. Maybe there's a local church, a club, a group that may do something for free. Like I had an example up in Ames, a group of Iowa State engineers have a club that they will go in and build ramps for people for free. So it's just calling and asking the questions, and we will try our best to get you the answer. So I can't really speak to what all your insurance would cover. We'd ask what you have, but encourage you to call your insurance, especially if you have a Medicaid Advantage plan.
As far as Willowbrook goes, Willowbrook, the adult day service is private pay. We do take long-term care insurance. Some long-term care insurance policies will pay for it. But insurance generally doesn't, but we do have a scholarship through Willowbrook and Aging Resources funding that we use to help people that need the assistance for that. As far as like improvements in your home, I don't know that insurance pays, but there are some things that they will assist with. So that's something, unfortunately, all insurance companies are different. There's no generic what they will help with. So finding out from your insurance company would be the best way to go through that.
Perfect. Any other questions? Yep.
Were you saying Medicaid or Medicare Advantage plan? What were you saying?
Medicare Advantage plans,
Oh, Medicare.
Medicare Advantage plans. Well, they're the ones that you can earn. You can earn credit, get like a $200 gift card, or maybe they'll pay for over-the-counter items that you think you need or want. But some of them now will pay for transportation and other things in the home because they're trying to be more competitive and want you to go on their Medicare plan. If you have straight Medicare with a Part D supplement, then probably not. Medicaid sometimes will pay for, like I said, home modification for sure, grab bars, walker, toilet seat riser. Just you need doctor's orders, just like a prescription for medication. You would need a prescription from your doctor. You take it to your home care agency, supply company, and they do the paperwork for you. But that's under Medicaid. The difference between Medicaid is, that's a call we get all the time. Medicare, A and B, does not pay for long-term care. People are under the misperception that, I have Humana, I can go to this nursing home, I'll be okay. No, that's a no. They don't pay for long-term care. You have to have either a long-term care insurance, VA, be independently wealthy to private pay, or be on Medicaid, or spending your way down to be on Medicaid, which we can explain to you as well. And that's for folks that can't afford or need the extra help and support and don't have the resources to do that. That's Medicaid. And there's income guidelines to it. You have to meet certain income guidelines to qualify for that, and also meet some medical concerns to also qualify for it.
Perfect.
You mentioned the doctor's referral on a couple of things. Do you have to have like a doctor's referral to call home instead, or to call aging? You have to go through your doctor for that, or can people just call it?
So for home instead, absolutely not. No. If you and your loved ones have identified that there's a need and you'd like to further look into that and research it, you can call us up and request a consult. We come out and visit with you. But no, you do not need a doctor's order or anything for the home care, which is the non-medical. Now, if it was home health, oftentimes people get home health and home care confused. Home care is what we do. I refer to it also as private duty, the non-skilled side of it. It doesn't include a nurse or a therapist. Now, a home health referral, yes, it does require a doctor's order. But home care, what we do, the private duty, the non-medical side of it, no. You can give us a call, inquire about services, and we can move that forward if that's what you would like to do.
No, you can just call us. Depending on your situation, though, if it's an acute thing, like you're coming out of the hospital after whatever it may be, we would ask, did you have a conversation with the discharge planner that you need home health at home to sustain you? Medicare, not to confuse you more, will pay for home health for an episode. Maybe they'll pay for 2 weeks of home health. Maybe they'll pay for 8 weeks of home health. But it's per episode and so many days a year. So they are not long-term. So we may have, yeah, it gets confusing. So we would try, if you're in that situation, guide you through that conversation. It's astounding how many people get discharged from the hospital and have no home health set up for them, not even talked to about it. So they call us, we need you to set up home health. Well, we can't. What we can do is encourage you to call back to your primary care doctor, get doctor's orders sent to a home health agency. What we can do in the short term is put home care in there to fill the gap. And we often do that. We are big on gap filling. We will put home care in until, and pay for it short term until home health can be established for that individual for safety reasons. Really, it's a safety reason. We don't want you to come home and then have a worse injury and end up back there and not getting to come home at all. But our services are free. You can call us about anything and we'll talk to you about your situation and guide you in the right direction of what steps you need to take to get what you need.
In addition to that, really quick, you were talking about you getting home health in there. Oftentimes we're in a home for home care, the non-skilled side of it, and we find the need where we're like, they're really having trouble. They came from the hospital without home health. We're able to identify that, and we partner with other agencies, home health, and we would call them up and make a referral, and they would move that forward for you. So we're kind of eyes and ears in the home for whether it's home health going in, identifying a home care need, or vice versa. We all try to work together. We especially do it at home instead. If there's additional needs, that we're able to have the resources to guide you further in that as well.
If you don't have anything, that's all good. Yep, Jim, we'll do one more question and then we'll wrap things up.
My question is, if you request a home consult, is there a charge to that?
And then can you repeat the question again?
The question was, if someone calls and would like to meet with somebody and have a consult with us, is there a charge? No, there is not. That is free. We go out, myself or my partner Chloe, we will go out to your home or wherever you want to meet, and we'll discuss. We don't do a lot of searching. We're like, why are you calling us? What's going on in your home? We like to find out all the information we can, and then we bring to the table what we think we can bring to the table to assist you with. But no, the only time a cost is incurred is if you decide you're going to sign with us, and we get a care plan in place where we decide we're going to come in for X amount of hours a day, a week, whatever that looks like. And once you do sign the contract, then we do have a $150 charge to do the paperwork and that, or basically just move everything forward, and that is non-refundable. But then it's billed hourly on a monthly basis or biweekly, whatever we set up through the consultation. But no, you can call us just to have a consult, and we'll further discuss with you.
Perfect.
The two resources I mentioned, the same day grab bars and Happier at Home Consulting, they will do a free consultation.
Perfect. I'll allow it.
The lighter note. So 20 years ago, my husband and I were in Georgia visiting Andy's dad and uncle. So my husband called Andy's dad and he said, "Hey, Alan, would you put in 2 posts by our back steps?" I thought it was the dumbest idea in the whole world. I said, "Why did you do that? We don't need that. I want these 2 posts." Okay, so that was fine. And Alan came over and did it. To this day, every time I go up or down those steps, which are 3 steps,
Yep.
I hang on to those posts and I thank God Alan put them in.
Yep. That's a good note.
Knows.
Yep. Yep. So that's perfect. But yeah, if you want to give the panelists just a round of applause, please. So yeah, high level, I just hope everyone took away at least one thing that they could kind of put into place and into practice with that. So I guess another thought as well. So our goal is to be able to grow this education series. My goal is 100 people a month. like I want to feel like this is sectioned off into one quarter of the room, so we can open it up the full way. So I'd love to see it packed. So if you found this valuable, feel free to shoot someone a text or an email or a phone call, and invite them to it. So with that, just a quick note, next month we'll be living to 100, what really helps you thrive. So it's always the first Thursday of every month. I think it would be September 3rd. So that'll be next month. It's always at 10 a.m. And with that, I appreciate everyone coming. Thank you.